I have a specific way of journaling that I do every single day, and I want to share it with you because it changed my life and I think it can change yours too. Hello, and welcome back to Cozy with Chelsea, a podcast to nourish your mind, body, and soul. I am Chelsea, your host, and today we're going to dive in deep on the exact two-part journaling method that I use every single day of my life that makes every single day of my life better. So this is something that I've curated over the years. I have journaled ever since I was a child. I actually remember my first journal, and it was the one that that you get from the bookstore that has like the little lock on it with the key. And that was the beginning of a lifelong obsession with journaling and journals and anything paper related. But I love journaling. It's a very powerful tool that I have used not only to process and get emotions out of me onto paper, but it's also transformed over the years into a way to script or manifest my life. And I would say that it's probably the number one tool I use to create and curate the exact life that I want to live. So I'm going to go through what my method is, why I do it, how it works, and how you can do it too. So just to give you an overview, the way that I do this, it's two parts. It's simple. It doesn't take long. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I personally like to do it in the morning. And the first part is just stream of consciousness writing. So it's just writing down whatever is in your mind, whatever is floating around up there. We get it out of your mind and onto paper. So it's also a very somatic practice. So first part is stream of consciousness. The second part is scripting. So that's where the manifestation work comes into play. And I'll go really in depth on it, but that's the idea. 1, stream of consciousness journaling. 2, scripting your day out specifically. So the reason why this works really well for me and will work really well for you is because of the two different parts and how they work together to transform every single day of your life, which leads into a total life transformation. Now, the first part is really important, which is your stream of consciousness. And you can almost think about this part as a form of nervous system regulation. Actually, you don't even have to think about it. It is. It is a form of nervous system regulation. The reason why is because we often have so much going on for us mentally. We have so much cerebral processing going on that we hardly ever get it out in a way that allows it to move through our body and allows us to process all of those thoughts. That is what this first portion does. So it's really getting in touch with, yes, 1, the emotions, but also how it feels in your body. How are you feeling? We're getting that out onto paper, which is allowing you to process those emotions and actually feel them. I think that this also works really well because of the way that you're going to do this first portion. So when you're doing stream of consciousness writing, you are not performing, you're not thinking about what you're writing, you're just writing. Okay, so there's really no intention with it. You would just start writing, and most of the time for me, it's whatever is on my mind, whatever is stressing me out, whatever is going on in my days. And so I think if we allow ourselves to really just experience what we're experiencing, but if you put it on paper, it allows you to kind of just write and name what you're feeling without judgment. And then of course, it also works because of the second portion, which is the scripting. And for me, scripting is so powerful. I use it all the time in different ways. In this specific journaling method, what I do is I script out my day. And I'll get into how exactly I do that. But scripting is something that I've used over and over and over again throughout my life. And I would say one of the most powerful ways that I've used scripting is when I manifested my husband doing this. And I actually included it in our vows when we got married because it was just so incredible how it worked and how fast it worked. I think it was a few days, maybe a week before I met my husband, I got really clear on what exactly I wanted in a partner. And I could feel this too as I was doing it, that I was actually ready for this to happen. And because I was ready, that's why the clarity was so important. I knew I was ready to call it in, but I wanted to make sure that I was calling in exactly what I wanted. So I wrote down, it was pages long, but it was very specific in what I was looking for. And I have the recording of our vows. Whenever I watch it, I'm obviously crying. But it was just so specific in what I was looking for in a partner, and not only what I was looking for in a partner, but how I felt, how I was feeling with that partner, the things we actually did, what he did for me, what I did for him, how we made each other feel, how we spent time together. And literally, I met him days after writing that. And he is the spitting image of what I wrote in that scripting session. So I am living proof that this is a powerful tool that you can actually use to create. So I know it works. You will know that it works once you start using it. But let's talk about how to actually do this. Now, I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If there is a piece of this that doesn't feel exactly right to you, feel free to adjust it or create your own method or edit, add, delete, right? Whatever feels good to you is what's going to be most effective. But I think having an actual firm methodology is just helpful, especially if you're new to this. So, how to do it? I touched on this a little bit, but for the stream of consciousness portion, it doesn't really matter how long you do it for. I find that I'm most often taking about 5 to 10 minutes to do the stream of consciousness portion. If you read The Artist's Way, she calls it the morning pages. And I was doing this before I read the morning pages, but I really liked the way that she explained it, in that it's kind of just a dump, right? It's allowing you to dump out whatever you're feeling, processing, thinking about, and get it out onto paper. And the reason that you want to do that is because when you are releasing that, it's creating space for more, creating space for perhaps the scripting portion. Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, will say that you need to write 3 pages every morning. I do not do that. I typically write about 1 page, and it's 1 page of this size journal. So it's a good size journal. But again, we don't need to be so specific about exactly how many words or letters you're writing down. I say do it until it feels good. So for me, it's typically a page. Sometimes it's 3. Sometimes it's 5 if it's a heavier day. So again, whatever feels good to you, 1 page is certainly good enough. Because I know a lot of people get really overwhelmed with the thought of having to commit to writing so much in a journal. If you start and you do a few sentences, a paragraph, that is still better than not doing it at all. Do what feels right, do what feels good. So, in stream of consciousness, it's really not, there isn't a specific way to do it. I guess the best way to describe it would be to simply start writing and don't stop until it feels good. Is that descriptive enough? I think if you're somebody who likes a little bit more direction and you want maybe a prompt, so you could use a question of like, what is really, really loud for me right now? What do I keep thinking about over and over and over again? What's taking up space in my mind? Start there and start writing, and you will notice that the words just start to come to you. And you can kind of observe yourself doing this, which I like to do. But you'll start with one topic and then you'll go to another and then you'll go to another. And yet you can see how kind of all these different thoughts that you're having are all connected because there's something deeper going on. And through this method, you're able to process that. That's the first portion. Now, the second portion is scripting. Again, I don't have a specific amount of pages. For me personally, the scripting will at the most be 1 page, because what it actually is envisioning, visualizing how your day is going to go that day. So we're just focusing on today, the day that you're writing. But when you're doing it, when you're scripting it, you want to actually imagine how you're going to feel that day. And I won't only write down how I feel. I will actually write down the things I'm going to do as well. But it would be something like, I'm having a really productive day at work today, and I feel really proud of myself for accomplishing this specific task. So you're kind of like almost writing in present tense. Now that I'm done with work, I am present with my husband. I'm present with my family. I cook a dinner that's nourishing and feels good. And we go for a walk after dinner and I feel, so if you can kind of get the idea, I'm actually going through exactly what my day will look like, what I want to achieve, what I want to accomplish, and how I want to feel while doing those things. Now, this doesn't mean that every day that I script, my day looks exactly like that. Things come up, things happen. The idea here is that we're getting really clear on the emotions that we want to feel that day, and then the actions that we're going to take in order to feel those emotions. So it's not necessarily a plan, it's more like writing a scene in a movie. And really, this is not complicated. It's not. It's just writing down the first part, stream of consciousness, writing down whatever is taking up space, and then moving on to getting really clear on how we want to feel and move through our day. Now, I want to talk about a few of the main reasons that people mess this up. The first one is skipping right to step 2. And I see a lot of content, advice about manifesting, scripting, and journaling, which I think is all great. I think it's wonderful to write down how you want your day to go, how you want your life to go, how you want to feel with your future husband. I do all of that. Why I really like including step 1 is because sometimes we are scripting or manifesting from a place of dysregulation, right? If you're already stressed out and anxious and you're trying to imagine how your day is going to go, we're bypassing, right? We're bypassing the real emotions that you're having and trying to force in this new narrative. So this is not like a toxic positivity thing. This is getting really real about our lives. We have emotions. Sometimes we have hard things that happen. We have hard things that we move through. We want to make sure that we're actually allowing ourselves to process those emotions instead of immediately moving into manifestation work. Another reason people really mess this up is treating it like it's a performance when it comes to the scripting piece. I do want you to get really passionate and creative about how you want your day to go and how you want to feel. And I also want it to be real. I want you to be real with yourself about how you actually want your day to go. Like, this is your life. You can choose how you want your day to look and how you want it to feel. That is entirely up to you. But let's also make sure that it feels real and it feels like you and not somebody else. So I think this is one of the most powerful things you can do. You can do it every morning. You can do it in 5 minutes if you want. Even if you hate journaling, you could voice memo this exact same process, right? Or you could just speak aloud if you want. But what's important is what we're doing. What we're doing is processing, feeling our emotions, gaining clarity, and envisioning how we want our day to go. And the reason why I love this method is because it is something that you can do every day. And the fact that you do it every day is what actually affects real change. And it's also that this doesn't feel like a monumental task or a monumental form of manifestation. We're not immediately going into our new location that we live in or our new career or our new, right? This is where the actual work happens, is every single day of your life in those smaller moments in your day. So if we can every morning create a routine of this, create a practice, create a ritual, that is what is going to continue to add and add and add every day that you do this. Now you have an entirely different looking week, an entirely different looking month, year, life. Okay, now I have an optional fun challenge if you're into challenges. And I'm actually doing this myself. So I do this most mornings. I don't do it every single morning, but I want to really commit to a 30-day challenge of doing this every single morning. I think that we can often get so lost in our days and lose focus on what's actually important to us and what we actually want to do and feel, that I think a challenge kind of brings us back into focus. Now, listen, I don't want the 30-day challenge to be more pressure. I don't want it to be, I have to do this every morning or else I'm not doing it right. And that's not the idea. The idea is, let's take a month, let's take 30 days, and as much as we possibly can, use this 2-part journaling method to create a better life for ourselves. So if you want to do it with me, I will be starting the 30-day challenge, and then I want to do like a recap podcast on how I felt doing it, what I saw happen, what changed for me, what kind of transformations I had, what I noticed. And I would love for you to do it with me. So if you're interested, we can all do this 30-day challenge together. So just follow along. If you can like, subscribe, comment, let me know how it's going. I would really, really, really love to hear from you. And I created a guide for this, a free guide. It'll go through all of these steps, all of the information on how to do this method, and you can download that for free. Okay, what is making me cozy this week? I always end with this. You know what? This is so hilarious, but I'm going to choose Love Island. My life has been a little heavier lately, and I am not normally a reality TV person, but I just was looking for a show that I could turn my brain off and have some fun, like have fun, feel joy, watch other people's drama. And it's been a very cozy activity. You know, it's like something I do in bed. Sometimes I'll do other things while I'm watching, but it's just been really, I don't know. Somehow watching Love Island has been really cozy for me. So that's what I'm going with this week. And I haven't finished it all yet, and I know it's already done. So no spoilers, please. And thank you. Well, like I said, if you guys try this, if you want to do the 30-day challenge, I really want to know what your experience is like and what you notice throughout it. So please let me know. You can always follow me, Instagram, TikTok. It's basically Cozy with Chelsea, wherever you look. All right. Have a cozy week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.